Now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ronan O'Rahilly.
My name is Ronan O'Rahilly.
My name is Ronan O'Rahilly.
Panel, follow along, if you will, with this story. I, Ronan O'Rahilly, operate two rather unusual commercial radio stations. Since the British government does not allow commercial radio, our studios and transmitters are located aboard two ships anchored in international waters off the coast of England. We have some 40 advertising sponsors for our American-style disc jockey programs. Although the authorities frown at our very existence, we are on the air 14 hours a day. My two floating stations, Caroline North and Caroline South, draw some 10,000 fan letters each week from a British audience of 15 million people. Signed, Ronan O'Rahilly. Very well, panel, these three gentlemen all claim to be, and you heard them claim it, Ronan O'Rahilly of Britain's offshore Radio Caroline, North and South. Let's start the cross-examination with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you. Number two, your last name is a famous name in Ireland. What did one of your ancestors, somebody by that name, what was he, a famous O'Reilly?
He built ships.
Thank you. Number three, where in international waters is your ship? I mean, where off the coast of England?
There are two ships. One is in the north of England, off the Isle of Man, and the other is in the south of England.
Thank you. And number one, where are the Scilly Islands?
Scilly Islands are off the coast of Cornwall.
Thank you. Number three, what do they do there on the Scilly Isles?
They raise sheep.
Thank you. Number one, how many people do you use on your crew?
Well, we've got a crew of actual people on the ship of 16, which includes the disc jockeys.
And, oh, it does. Thank you.
Orson Bean.
Yes, number three, how many disc jockeys do you have?
There's 12 altogether.
12 on counting the two ships?
That's right.
Number one, what is Radio Luxembourg?
Radio Luxembourg is also a commercial radio station, but it's in the evenings.
Number two, on what frequency can you be found on radios?
Which boat would you like to know?
What? Which boat?
Which boat?
I mean, do you have a specific frequency where people can find you all the time?
Yes. We have two frequencies.
Two frequencies.
One free.
And why isn't somebody else using the frequency?
Well, because
if you're illegal,
we picked these frequencies because they were free.
Number three, does the British government ever try to jam you?
No, they don't.
Number one, do you ever play Lawrence Welk?
Good sport. Kitty Carlisle.
Number three, are you an actual disc jockey? Number three?
Am I a disc jockey?
Yes.
No.
Are you a disc jockey?
No, I couldn't even be, no.
No. Number two, how far is your ship from the shore?
It's just outside the 3-mile limit.
How do you get there?
By boat.
That was a question straight from the Scilly Islands.
Number three, do you have a ferry service?
Yes, we do.
Number one, who is Sidney Bernstein?
He's the head of Granada Television.
Number two, who's the head of the BBC?
I really don't know.
Number three, if the government frowns on this, how much do you get per commercial?
Per frown. Sorry?
How much do you get per commercial?
About £180 per minute.
Per minute.
Tom Poston.
Number three, who's the head of BBC in England?
Carlton Green, I think, is the head now.
How come number two didn't know number three?
How come? Maybe he did.
What do you think about the O'Rahilly in Ireland that's famous? What did he do?
The O'Rahilly?
Yeah.
As far as I know, he was a leader of the revolution in 1916. He was one of the leaders.
Thank you. Now I will ask number two, have I ever appeared on your program?
On my program?
Yes, in your
I have no program as such. You haven't appeared on our station, no.
Never?
Never.
That's all the time we have. It's time for you now to mark your ballot. So will you do so at once without any consultation with each other whatsoever? And, of course, no changing of your vote once you have marked it. Simply vote swiftly and accurately for the one you think is the real one. Voting for number one, number two, or number three. All marked and quickly. Very well, Tom, for whom?
Well, I just marked for number one. I thought he looked about as much. I have a friend who runs WNEW here, and he looks more like him than the other two. So
Peggy.
Well, I voted for number 1 because if my name were O'Rahilly, I'd know that it was a famous Gaelic poet. And number 3 said they raised sheep on those islands. I thought they raised flowers. They raise flowers on the silly islands. Oh, they do? Well, flower-eating sheep. I didn't know that.
Orson Bean.
Yes, I voted for number 1. He looks to me like he has the kind of American know-how that a young English boy would need to go out and build a radio station on a boat and you still have American know-how.
Kitty.
I feel terrible because I wanted to vote for number 1, but I'd already marked for number 3 because I thought maybe he was a disc jockey, and then it turns out he wasn't, and they're always right, and I'm always wrong, and so I voted for number 3.
You're in fine shape tonight. I think
Don't feel bitter. Just sit there and sulk and see what happens. There were 3 votes for number 1 and 1 for number 3. Let's find out at once which one of these gentlemen, in truth, is the real Ronan O'Rahilly of Britain's offshore Radio Caroline. Will the real Ronan O'Rahilly please stand up? Thank you very much, sir. Great to be here. Have a seat, if you will, please. How many hours a day do you broadcast? Your shift?
14 hours a day.
14 hours a day. That's right. That's a full schedule. Well, continued success to you.
Thank you very much.
Keen idea. Number 1, you got most of the votes. What is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Nigel Dempster, and I'm a roving correspondent for the Daily Express.
I'll give you something to write about. Number 2, what is your real name and what do you do, sir?
I'm Tom Cooper, and I'm a representative for the Guinness Harp Breweries.
Well, when we check the score, we find you did extremely well. There were 3 incorrect votes, and that should brighten everything for you tonight. That's 3 times $250, a total of $750. What that is in pounds, I don't know, but I hope it brings you the same joy. Thank you, good night, and God bless you. We'll be back in a moment after this message of interest.